Is Daniel Dubois going to beat Oleksandr Usyk? In my opinion, very unlikely. Can Daniel Dubois beat Oleksandr Usyk? Of course, absolutely he can. This is why boxing is the most exciting sport in the world, because one punch can change everything. And if Daniel Dubois is going to knock Usyk out the way he's been saying in his recent interviews, then here are three things Daniel Dubois must do in order to get the win over Oleksandr Usyk at Wembley. Number one, win the jab contest. As they say in boxing, the jab is the most important weapon. And when you're fighting a guy as prolific, as smart, as intelligent and as nimble as Usyk is on his feet, you need to stop him from moving so much, because Usyk uses his movement as a way of putting pressure on his opponent and as a way of trying to get his opponent to work as much as he can to tie his opponents up. So Daniel Dubois has to stop Usyk from moving so much. And when you're fighting a fighter that moves so much, the way to stop them is using the jab. So Daniel Dubois must throw so many jabs, more jabs than he's ever thrown in his life. And Daniel Dubois should be throwing that jab to Usyk's chest and shoulder. And what that will do is keep Usyk off balance. Because Usyk is going to use his feet to put pressure, Daniel Dubois must stop that movement. To get Usyk to stop that movement, he has to jab Usyk to the chest and shoulder. That way, Usyk is not going to move as much as he wants to. Then Daniel Dubois can go to work and start landing that overhand right, or started landing that right hand down the pipe. One of the money punches for a orthodox fighter when fighting a southpaw is that right hand down the pipe. If Dubois can use his jab to stop Usyk from moving, he can then start to land his own right hands and land those bombs that he wants to land and get Usyk out of there. The best jabber that we've ever seen in boxing is Larry Holmes. And Larry Holmes, everything that he did in the boxing ring started with a jab. Larry Holmes had the most incredible jab I have ever seen. It was fast, it was very strong, and he put his body weight behind it. Larry Holmes used to knock his opponents down with a jab. So Daniel Dubois needs to use that jab to get Usyk to not get into that rhythm where he can move so much, and then he can start going to work and then start having success. Number two, control the pace. Daniel Dubois cannot make the same mistake he did the first time, where he tried to match Usyk with the pace that Usyk set. If you've watched Usyk for a very long time, or almost every fight in his career, you can see that the pace that Usyk fights at round 3, for example, is not the same pace at round 6. At round 6, the pace is very high, and Usyk is doing things that you've never seen before in that ring. So Daniel Dubois cannot afford to match Usyk pace by pace, because that is how Usyk fights. He needs to make sure that he can stop Usyk from setting that pace. And then we go back to that first point of using the jab, of winning the jab contest, because if he can stop Usyk from moving and getting into a rhythm, he can then control the pace and get Usyk to fight at his pace. And once Dubois can get Usyk to fight at his pace, he can then start to land shots. He can then start to land that body shot that he's been looking for, because he tried that body shot so many times in the first fight. And the only time that Dubois was successful with that body shot was when he landed it low, and it was a low blow. Instead of going for the body shot every second of the fight, Dubois needs to get Usyk to fight at his pace. That way he can start to land those body shots. He can start to have more success as the fight goes on, because if Dubois cannot stop Usyk from getting into the rhythm, if Dubois cannot stop Usyk from setting the pace, if Dubois cannot get Usyk to fight at his pace, this fight will be over very quick, because the pace that Usyk is going to set from round 1 is going to be very different every time as the round goes on. And I don't think Dubois has the ability to be able to keep up if he doesn't control the pace of the fight. And then number 3, youthful energy. Daniel Dubois is 27. Oleksandr Usyk is 38. This is a young man fighting an older fighter. This is youthful energy versus experience. Daniel Dubois should have more energy in that ring than Usyk. Dubois has said in a recent interview that he's going to make Usyk look like the old man in there. Well, this is the opportunity. to be able to win this fight, to be able to get the knockout that Dubois has been saying that he wants, he needs to make Usyk look like the older fighter in that ring. And that means Dubois' energy has to be on point. It has to be more than Usyk's energy. Dubois' output has to be more than Usyk. Dubois' jab needs to reach Usyk fast. Dubois' feet need to be quicker to get to the target, to land his shots. Dubois' right hands have to be snappier. He's the younger fighter, and therefore the onus is on Dubois to show that he's got the energy and the youthful exuberance to be able to overcome Usyk and what Usyk is doing in that ring. If Daniel Dubois is not able to overcome Usyk with that youthful energy that he's meant to have as a 27-year-old fighter, fighting a guy that has been through wars like Usyk, that, Anthony Joshua fights were really taxing, and then both fights with Tyson Fury were very taxing. Usyk definitely have battle scars and wear and tear, and father time waits for no man. So Daniel Dubois should be in that ring, being and behaving and fighting like the younger fighter. He should be fighting like a fighter that have the energy and the ability to overcome the older fighter. If Dubois can do these things, then he stands a better chance of getting the knockout that he says and he claims that he wants to get. Because these things, in my opinion, is how you stop Usyk from operating. These things, in my opinion, is how you stop Usyk from setting that pace that is so difficult for any fighter to match him. These are the strategies that I believe you should use to be able to overcome a fighter like Usyk, and that is stopping him from doing the things that he does so much that people or other fighters cannot match. Let me know what you think about the things I have discussed in this video. Do you agree with me that Daniel Dubois needs to do these things to be able to get the W over Usyk? And do you think there are other things that Dubois needs to employ in this fight to be able to get the knockout that he's saying that he wants to get? Or do you think there is nothing that Dubois can do in this fight? He is not going to win. If you think like that, get in the comment section and let me know. If you have any things that you want to add, anything that you think would be, quite interesting for Dubois to do in the fight, fighting a guy as prolific, as exceptional as Usyk, get in the comment section and let me know. I'm interested to know what you guys think about this one. My name is Bright. This is the Bright Show Podcast Boxing. If you enjoy boxing content, then please don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave your comments in the section below. I'll see you guys on the next one.